If you're trying to build a six-figure copywriting business, you want to make 10K per month as a freelance copywriter, how much time do you need to devote to this every single day? What's normal? What is expected? What's possible? And is it even possible to do this outside of your 9 to 5 or do this outside of full-time university or even outside of high school? What's possible? What's normal? I'm going to talk about that today. If you don't know me, my name is Brandon Story. I am a six-figure copywriter. I've been doing copywriting for the past 6 years full-time. January 2019, I went all in on copy. I landed my first client in 6 weeks. I quit my job in 3 months. I hit my first $5,000 month in month 7. I hit my first $9,000 month in month 12. So within 1 year of starting, I was a six-figure copywriter. My best month ever is $15,800. I've lived in Canada, Thailand, Vietnam, Australia. I've retired my wife in year 2. I fully provide for my family of 4. And today I get my work done in about 4 hours per day, making over 10K per month. And so that's me. That's my story. You know, I can tell you what I've done and I can tell you what I think is possible in 2025. If you're building your business up, if you're trying to make money online, if you're looking for a way to work from home, be able to have more autonomy, you know, to put in your 2 weeks notice to your boss, or if you're just like, maybe you're in high school or university and you're like, I don't want to have a 9 to 5. I don't want to get stuck in an office job for the next 40 years and work 40 hours a week and commute to work, because that was my trajectory. You know, that's the path I was headed. And I was like, there's no way I could live that life. There's no way. I did it for a few years and it just was like, no, I need to find something else. So then I dove into copywriting, and within 1 year, I was able to quit my job, build up a six-figure business, and get all the things I wanted out of an online business. And I still do it to this day. So I love it. The question is, how much time? How much time? Okay, so I'll tell you what I did. Okay, so when I first started, I was working a 12-hour day job. So let's just start there. I usually worked 8-9 hours, and I had an hour and a half drive to work and an hour and a half drive from work. So on any given day at my 9 to 5, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I was spending 11 to 12 hours of my day every day just on my job, just to pay the bills. And I wasn't making much money, and I had barely any free time. And that's where I was coming into freelance copywriting. Like, I was in the middle of a very long workday when I built my business up. And, you know, what did I do? How did I even have free time? I woke up early. I went to bed early. I stopped playing video games all the time. I stopped watching Netflix, binging Netflix for 2 hours a night. You know, I stopped hanging out with friends a lot for a period of time. You know, I made sacrifices, which I don't see as sacrifices at all. I simply made a trade-off. Took a trade-off, and I did that. And what I do, instead of staying up till 11 or 12, I started to go to bed at like 10. You know, instead of waking up at 7:30 to go hop on the road for work, I started waking up at like 5-6 a.m. to write in the morning. You know, on the way to work, I was listening to podcasts and audiobooks about copywriting and marketing. After work, I was practicing specialized copy. In the evening, I was going through courses and reading copywriting books. So my life became copywriting. I decided I'm not going to treat it. And this is the thing. Copywriting is not a side hustle. If you want to make 10K per month as a copywriter, stop calling it a side hustle. It is not a side hustle. If you ever want to make that much money, even 5K per month, you're not going to get there by calling it a side hustle and treating it like one. You need to treat this like a real business, because it is one. If you want business results, start treating it like a business. So if you want the money, you need to treat it as such. Treat it seriously, and you're going to get the fun rewards later. So how much time was I spending when I first started? Well, on average, I was writing for at least an hour and a half to 2 hours per day, sometimes more, sometimes 3, sometimes 4 hours. If you consider my time to work, where I'm commuting for an hour and a half, listening to audiobooks and podcasts, like I tried to use every ounce of free time I could, to be completely honest with you. The actual writing time was probably an hour and a half to 2 hours per day when I first started. This is outside of my day job. And so I'd say on any given day, I was spending between 3 to 4 hours per day total on the business. So if you look at my work-life balance, I didn't have any. I didn't have any. There's no work-life balance. If you want to build a 10K a month business online, expect to have zero work balance for a period of time. That's just the way it is. If you want to build a business where you can work 4 hours per day and make 10K per month and travel the world and wake up whenever you want and be your own boss and have all the freedom to afford anything and, do anything and have all the freedom and flexibility to do whatever you want, whenever you want, you better believe that that's not going to come easy. There's going to be some hard work involved. There's going to be some periods of time where you're sacrificing stuff. How do I know that? Because that's what I did. And it worked. And I have a business now where I make over 10K a month working about 4 hours per day. And it's possible. But I didn't get there by just doing 4 hours per day. So I got there, when I was first starting, I was probably doing 3-4 hours per day average between writing, between reading copybooks, between studying copy, between listening to audiobooks. The most passive thing was the fact that I had this long commute to work. I just plugged in audiobooks and podcasts and stuff. So you can do the same. If you have a long drive to work, 30 minutes plus, even if you have a 10-minute drive to work, plug in an audiobook. If you, go for walks at night, if you walk to school or walk to work, plug in an audiobook, plug in a podcast, make use of the free time that's just being wasted on whatever, and consider that learning time. You got to do the dishes, do that. You got to walk the dog, put in, learn some more. Like whatever your passive stuff is, the passive time that you're doing nothing, like I'm not going to tell you to plug in 24/7 of every second of the day, but like just make use of the time where you're like, you could double up on something, whether that's like working out, doing the dishes, commuting to work, doing whatever. Make use of that time. And the more you flood your mind with copywriting stuff throughout the day, the more it's just going to naturally flow out of you. And you want it to be able to flow out of you when talking to potential clients or when working with potential clients. That's how you get results, is like just inundating yourself with copy books, copy audio, practicing copy, studying copy, writing daily, all those things. That's like basically brainwash yourself. Like reprogram your mind. Just look at your mind like it's a computer, because it is, and reprogram it. Reprogram it to be a 6-figure copywriter. And when you look at 6-figure copywriters out there, I'm not the only one, there's plenty, more than I can count. And by the way, I wouldn't even consider myself an A-list copywriter, maybe a B copywriter, honestly. Like I'm not some like Forbes top 100 copywriter, not a chance I'm on that list. So like, I'm just like decent at what I do, I would say. And I just never quit. So like anybody can do this. Like that's the thing, is like, I built this up without being like, top dog or whatever. I'm just like average, decent copywriter. So anybody can do this. You can do this. And so, yeah, those first, 6 weeks till I landed my first client, I was probably spending about 4 hours per day. Some of that was commute time where I was listening to podcasts and audiobooks, probably about 1 hour to 2 hours of writing per day. That's what I did. And then I landed my first client in 6 weeks, and I stuck with my, I worked a job for 3 months while doing this on the side. So this is my start as a copywriter, 12-hour day job, about 4 hours per day on this, 3 to 4 hours per day. Because I wanted to move quick. I wanted quick results. This is what it comes down to. The faster you want to succeed as a copywriter, like if you want to move fast, you're going to have to put in more time every day. If you're okay with waiting, a year plus to get to full time, that's okay. Spend less time, do whatever you can. But the more time you put into this, the quicker you're going to get results. It's just like anything. So that was me, probably about 4 hours per day total between writing, studying, and outreaching in my first 6 weeks. And also to get my first client. And then at the 3-month mark, around 3 months, I put my notice in. I quit my job. I put my 2 weeks in. I wasn't earning a huge amount of money at that point from copywriting. I was earning less than $1,000 a month. I did have some runway with savings. I did have some runway that I knew what my trajectory was. And so at that point, I decided I'm not going to my job anymore. Like I know this is going to take off once I have, what do you know, more time. So, I wasn't building this on the side for 6 to 12 months. I built this on the side for 3 months and was able to quit my job. So that's what I did, working about 4 hours per day on this. So 4 hours a day for 3 months, I quit my job. That's what I did. And then, so that's month 3. And now I'm full-time copywriter. And so at that point, I was, I had full 8 hours a day, plus sometimes more than that to work on this. So that's what I did. I quit as soon as I could. I quit as soon as I had the trajectory and the means. I pulled the trigger. I pulled the trigger more earlier than most people probably would. So like, you could still do this though. You could, however long it takes you, whatever you're comfortable with, whatever your freedom number is, like to be able to quit your job, whatever you feel comfortable with. If you're able to quit your job, so you have all day to work in your copywriting business, you're going to move faster. Like that's just the reality. And so that's what I chose to do. So then at that point, at the 3-month mark, I'm no longer spending 4 hours a day. I was spending 8 hours a day-ish, sometimes more, sometimes less, because all of a sudden I didn't have a job. So I could just go duck out and go to a coffee shop or chill or walk down by the beach in Vancouver with my wife, go visit friends and family. So I started to tap into the freedom of copywriting early on, even though I wasn't technically making like a full-time income yet. I had some runway of savings. I was being consistent with my work, and I was able to, get that freedom early on and start tapping into that. But I also was working hard too. So, I went from 4 hours a day to at least 8 hours a day average from month 3 to month 7. So I was, doing this for 4 months full time before I reached a full-time income. And so at month 7, I went from just about $1,000 a month to over $5,000 a month. That is my first full-time income month, was month 7. Then, I kept building, and by month 12, I hit my first $9,000 a month. And that's when I realized, like, man, my wife doesn't even have to work anymore. Like what's the trajectory for this? Like, this is awesome. And probably for the first year or two, I worked 8+ hours a day average, like as a full-time copywriter, not in a 9-to-5 anymore. Some days I definitely worked 12-hour days. Some days I worked 1-hour days, but like probably average was at least 8 for those first 1 to 2 years. And like, I just kept building more case studies, more results for clients, more connections, more proof, raising my rates, renegotiating, building my business up, knowing how to work with clients, getting faster at my job, getting faster at writing, all these things till eventually by year 3, 4, I was able to work at about 4 hours a day. Like, my goal was never to like maximize my earnings to like the fullest possible, no matter what, at all costs. Some guys like to do that, and that's fine if that's your goal. You can go turn this into an agency, become a copywriting or marketing agency, and go from making 10K a month to like 20, 30, 40, 50 and beyond. Like, some guys want to do that, and you're still going to have to give a cut of your earnings to your team. So like, you're not really making that full number, but that's your revenue. But this is one way where you can like tap into even more revenue once you reach that 5 to 10K mark, if you want to expand that way. For me, my goal was always like, how can I make solid money and like not have to bust my butt for the next 60 years? Like, not have to do a commute to work, not have to work 8 hours a day if I don't want to, not have to go check into work if I don't want to, like not have to do these things. What if I want to just take a day off with my wife and 2 girls and just go to the park and play? What if I want to duck out of Canada and like go live in Thailand or Mexico for a month or 2 or 3 or however long I want? Like, those kinds of things. And like, what if I just want to work, the morning and be off in the afternoon and just have fun? Those were my goals. I was like, I want a freedom business. I want a lifestyle business. Like, once I'm earning enough money, like 10K a month, like, and that's plenty to provide for me, my wife, my 2 girls and beyond. Once I hit that point, like, I don't care to scale and go way above. I'd rather scale back my time. So that's what I did. So nowadays I'm back at the 4-hour day mark, which is like a way better deal than what I was getting at my previous 9-to-5. My previous 9-to-5, 12 hours of my day was devoted to that. And yet I was earning what, like a quarter or a third, maybe a quarter of what I'm earning today. So I had to work 3 times as much, and I earned 1/4 of the amount at my previous 9 to 5. And nowadays, so if you look at the opposite, I work 1/3 of the time and I earn about 4 times as much copywriting. If you look at it that way, so my hourly rate, I don't charge hourly, but if you look at my hourly rate is like, I don't know what the math is. Math nerds, you can help me on this, but like my hourly rate is probably 10 times what it used to be. At least 5 to 10 times if you look at my just hourly. So like how much time I'm putting in versus how much money I'm getting out. That's the power of copywriting. So just to recap, time. How much time can you realistically expect to build this business in? And so I'll say this, there is no maximum amount of time that you could put into this. If you don't have a job right now and you have savings, if you are like, you have that freedom and flexibility right now just to go all in, spend as much time as possible on this. There's no maximum, but there definitely is a minimum. And the minimum amount of time that I'd recommend anybody spend on this business, in terms of writing time, do not spend less than 30 minutes a day writing. If you want to become a copywriter where people pay you $5,000 to $10,000 per month, thousands of dollars, you better treat this like a business. You better be writing for more than 30 minutes per day, just the writing. In terms of the overall business, how much time should you devote to the writing, the studying, the outreaching to clients? I would say realistically, you should set aside 2 hours per day. I think 2 hours per day would be like basically the bare minimum I'd recommend that you could do this in. And, that doesn't mean you're going to get the results that I got even, because I wasn't just spending 2 hours a day. That doesn't mean you're going to, quit your job in 3 months like I did. That doesn't mean you're going to hit your, $9,000 a month by month 12 necessarily. All that means is if you have that much time, that's enough time that you could do your studying, your writing, your outreaching, and when you have a client, actually fulfill the work for them. So, and so to build that up so you're able to build up to $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month, $3,000 a month, beyond that, like you're probably going to need a bit more time in the day to hit about 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10K. But like at least to get a start, absolutely. 2 hours a day is plenty. My students that I'm teaching, because I'm a copywriting coach, the students that I'm teaching are able to get their outreach done in about 1.5 hours per day. And that includes their writing time. That doesn't include reading copybooks and doing extra studying and going through my course or whatever. But the bulk of their time on their business, once they've like got their copy skills up to speed and now they're like in outreach mode, landing clients, usually about 1.5 hours. Sometimes people can get it done in an hour. Sometimes people take about 2 hours to do their outreach, which my system includes outreach and writing in the same piece of the puzzle. And these guys are landing clients within 30 days as brand new copywriters. I just had 2 guys reach out to me the past 2 days. One landed his first email client for $200. Another guy landed 2 clients and got $1,200, both for email copywriting. And so this stuff's possible to build this on the side and to do this. So minimum 2 hours per day, it's possible. You can definitely build this up to at least a few $1,000s a month. Minimum writing time, 30 minutes. But you know what? If you can do more, do over an hour. Like if your goal is like, I'm okay with being patient, I'm just gonna build this steadily on the side over the next year or two, like sure, just stick with 1-2 hours a day and just keep this on the side and whatever, and just keep it growing and growing. But if you're like, hey, I want to hit my, quit my job this year, in the next 6 to 12 months, I want to be making full-time income, I want to be making at least $5,000 a month and like push for that 6 figures per year before the end of the first year, like you're going to have to put in more time like I did. Like I wanted to move quick. And so that's what I did. And so that is the kind of the recap is like, if you can't spend 2 hours a day on this, like don't bother. Like go find something else. And you know what? You're going to have a tough time finding anything else as good of a deal as copywriting. You're going to have a tough time finding a skill that's easier to learn, quicker to learn, that doesn't require a huge amount of money to learn, like university, where you have to drop 100K for a degree that's probably not going to earn you much money. You don't need any huge capital up front. You don't need inventory like drop shipping. You don't need to hire a team to learn to manage people like SMMA or whatever, like an agency model, or, going to SMMA. Like, you're leaning on something where it's a direct impact on revenue. And every business needs this. Every business. So if you're going to pick something, like, if you can't do 2 hours a day, don't even bother doing any online business. Go work a 9 to 5. And that's okay. That's for some people are okay with that and happy to do that. But if you have 2 hours, and hint, hint, everybody has 2 hours. How do I know that? Because I worked a 12-hour day job and I still made this work, doing this in 4 hours. So everybody has 2 hours. Everybody's scrolling. If you look at your phone time, if you look how much time you're scrolling, Instagram, TikTok, all those things, your phone will tell you this is how much time you spend on these apps every single day. Most people, it's a few hours a day. Most people. Like, if you look at your Netflix, like, you look at your YouTube, no, not this YouTube, but the entertainment YouTube, like, go look at your screen time. You are spending lots of time doing things that are not pushing your business forward. And it's okay to relax. I'm not saying don't have fun and relax and chill out sometimes. But, like, if you just look at your total day, everybody has 2 hours. You have an hour you can go to bed earlier. Instead of binging Netflix for 2 hours, maybe just watch a show for 30 minutes. Instead of waking up at 7 a.m. for work, maybe wake up at 6 a.m. Like, you can find the time. You're going on for a walk or you're going to drive to work, go plug in an audiobook or a podcast and level up your business skills. Everybody has 2 hours. And if you have 2 hours, you can build this business up. If you don't have 2 hours, you probably are lying, and you can find the time. So there you go. I know this is a longer video, but I just want to break down just like my take as a 6-figure copywriter, as somebody who's done this, and what my experience is or was, and what I think is possible and realistic. I do not think it's realistic if somebody tells you can build this business up in 30 minutes a day or even under an hour a day, and you can somehow get to 10, 20K a month in the next 30, 60, 90 days. They're lying straight to your face. That is not true. Do not buy their course. Do not get their coaching. That's false. That's just not accurate. You cannot build this business up to 10K plus a month in under an hour a day. It's just not going to happen. And even once even 2 hours a day, like, you're going to be hard pressed to be able to do that. That'll get you a few $1,000s a month though. So you're able to, like, maybe go part-time or maybe quit your job and go full into this thing to build that up to 10K plus per month. But yeah, 2 hours a day, that is the minimum I recommend, and anybody can find the time. So go get after it. I will put a video above, which is the 12 steps to launching a 6-figure copywriting business. Step by step, it is a video masterclass. Walk through it. If you're brand new to copywriting, if you aren't sure about this, or if you've been doing this for a bit of time, but you just feel like you're stuck or struggling, go watch the video above. Just follow it to a T. I lay out exactly the steps to take. Step 1, start doing this. Step 2, start doing this. Things like writing techniques, writing exercises, how to position yourself in the market. You need to position yourself in the market. You need to find your angle as a copywriter so you're not overlooked. How to actually then start outreaching and landing clients and building your business up. So go watch that video if you want to get started. This is a free video. I'm not charging you for this. I'll put paid help below as well if you want to move even quicker. And also, like, comment, and subscribe on this video. This helps me reach more people. It helps me serve you more videos, so I show up in your feed more to help you build your business up. Thank you so much and have a great day.